Good morning, students. Let us start from part 4. In the previous part, we found that the Maharaja did not allow the high level British officer to hunt a tiger. As a result, what happened? The Maharaj was in the verge of losing his kingdom. Therefore, the Maharaja had the idea that giving a gift to that officer's wife. And in that way, he was able to retain his kingdom. And now, in the part 4, let us continue. The Maharaja's tiger hunt continued to be highly successful. Within 10 years, he was able to kill 70 tigers. And then, an unforeseen hurdle brought his mission to a standstill. To a stop. The tiger population became extinct in the forest of Pratibandhapuram. Who knows whether the tigers practiced birth control or committed harakiri, or simply ran away from the state because they desired to be shot by British hands alone. So the hunting of tigers was a very successful one. Within 10 years, the Maharaja was able to kill 70 tigers. But there was a problem, means the tiger population in Pratibandhapuram was almost nil. There was no tiger to be seen in the forest. The tiger population became extinct in the forest of Pratibandhapuram. And the author humorously mentions here that the tigers practiced birth control or committed harakiri. Harakiri means a desired suicide, or simply ran away from the state because they desired to be shot by British hands alone. One day the Maharaja sent for the Diwan. Diwan Sahib, aren't you aware of the fact that the 30 tigers still remain to be shot down by this gun of mine? He asked, vandalizing his gun. Shudderingly at the sight of the gun, the Diwan cried out, "Your Majesty, I am not a tiger." "Which idiot would call you a tiger?" "No, not I am not a gun." You are neither tiger nor gun." "Diwan Sahib, I summoned you here for a different purpose. I have decided to get married." Means there is a sense of humor. The Diwan of Maharaja seems to be a bit stupid because he asked some irrelevant question to the Maharaja while he asked for a certain suggestion. And finally the Maharaja told him that he wanted to get married. The Diwan began to babble even more. He started talking confusingly. "Your Majesty, I have 2 wives already. If I marry you..." Here is a sense of humor. "Don't talk nonsense. Why should I marry you? What I want is a tiger." "Your Majesty, please think it over. Your ancestors were married to the sword. If you like, marry the gun. A tiger king is more than enough for this state. It doesn't need a tiger queen as well." Means the Diwan misunderstood the Maharaja's demand and he thought that the Maharaja was going to marry a tigress. Therefore, he says that a tiger king is there but the state doesn't want a tiger queen. The Maharaja gave a loud crack of laughter. "I am not thinking of marrying either a tiger or a gun, but a girl from the ranks of human beings. First, you may draw up statistics of tiger populations in the different native states. Next, you may investigate if there is a girl I can marry in royal family of a state with a large tiger population. The Diwan followed his orders. He found the right girl from the state which possessed a large number of tigers. So, as per the wish of the king, the Diwan looked for a princess from the neighboring states where sufficient population of tiger was there. And ultimately, the Diwan was able to find out another state where there was a princess and a princess having a sufficient number of tigers in the forest of the state. The Diwan followed his order. He found the right girl from the state which possessed large number of tigers. Maharaja Zangjang Bahadur killed 5 or 6 tigers each time he visited his father-in-law. In this manner, 99 tiger skins adorned the walls of the reception hall of the Pratibandhapuram palace. And after his marriage, whenever he visited his father-in-law, 5 or 6 tigers every time he killed. And in that way, the mission of killing tiger continued until it reached at the number of 99. And the tiger skins, and they adorned the visiting reception room of the Pratibandhapuram palace. Part 5. The Maharaja's anxiety reached a fever pitch when there remained just one tiger to achieve his tally of 100. He had this one thought during the day and the same dream at night. By this time, the tiger farms had run dry even in his father-in-law's kingdom. It became impossible to locate tigers anywhere, yet only one more was needed. If he could kill just that one single beast, the Maharaja would have no fears left. He could give up tiger hunting altogether. And ultimately, after killing up 99 tigers, the Maharaja again was in a feverish condition because one tiger was needed and nowhere any tiger to be seen in his kingdom, even in his father-in-law's forest. And the Maharaja had a very bad dream at night also. Simply he searched for the tiger in his dream also. But he had to be extremely careful with the last tiger. What had the late chief astrologer said? I mean, the astrologer who made a prophecy that he would be killed by the 100 tiger, and the chief astrologer is now dead. Even after killing 99 tigers, the Maharaja should beware of the 100. True enough. So, the tiger was a savage beast after all. One had to be very aware of it. But where was that 100 tiger to be found? It seemed easier to find a tiger meal than a live tiger. So there was such type of crisis. Means here it is said that even tiger milk could be found, but not a live tiger, and that had created a headache for the king, and that was the very important one because according to the astrologer, the 100 tiger would take his life. Therefore, there was some confusion and just a threat to life. What to do? The king was unable to think otherwise. Thus the Maharaja was sunk in gloom. He was very sad where to find the tiger. But soon came the happy news which dispelled that gloom. In his own state, sheep began to disappear frequently from a hillside village. And there was some good news because goats were disappearing from the village from the hillside village. and it may be a kind of good news for everyone. It was first ascertained that this was not the work of Khadir Mia Sahib or Birasami Neikar, both famed for their ability to swallow sheep whole. Means here again there is a humor. Humor means they were ascertained the tiger was not eaten by Khadir Mia Sahib or Birasani Neikar because both of them could devour a sheep whole. The Maharaja announced a 3 year exemption from all taxes for the village and set out one hunt at once. And in the meantime, Maharaja declared an incentive for the villagers because if they could find out the tiger, then certainly their taxes will be exempted for next 3 years. The tiger was not easily found. It seemed as if it had wantonly hid itself in order to flout Maharaja's will. And the tiger, it was not a matter of joke to be found out, as if the tiger was playing, as if the tiger was playing hide and seek with the Maharaja. That is why the tiger, it was very difficult to found. The Maharaja was equally determined. He refused to leave the forest until the tiger was found. As the days passed, the Maharaja's fury and obstinacy mounted alarmingly. Many officers lost their jobs. And the Maharaja was so much stubborn, obstinate, and angry, furious, that many officers lost their jobs. One day, when his rage was at his height, the Maharaja called the Diwan and ordered him to double the tax forthwith. And the Maharaja became so angry that he decided to double the taxes of the villagers because they were unable to find out the tiger for killing. The people will become discontented, then our state too will fall prey to the Indian National Congress. In that case, you may resign from your post, said the king. So, whenever the Diwan tried to give some suggestion, the Maharaja became very angry and he warned him that he might have lost his post if the National Congress, Indian National Congress, they come up to their state. The Diwan went home convinced that if the Maharaja did not find the tiger soon, the result could be catastrophic, could be very destructive. He felt life returning to him only when he saw a tiger which had been brought from the People's Park in Madras and kept hidden in his house. And ultimately, the Diwan, he did one thing. He brought one old tiger from People's Park in Madras, and that tiger was kept in Diwan's house. It was hidden from others. At midnight, when the town slept in peace, the Diwan and his aged wife dragged the tiger to the car and shoved it in the seat. The Diwan himself drove the car straight to the forest where the Maharaja was hunting. When they reached the forest, the tiger launched its satyagraha and refused to get out of the car. The Diwan was thoroughly exhausted in his effort to haul the beast out of the car and push it down to the ground. So, what a funny incident! I mean, it is a tiger, very ferocious animal. The tiger was so old that it couldn't even attack anybody else. Therefore, the tiger was dragged out of Maharaja's house and put in the car. And the tiger was also not willing to board the car. And finally, the car was driven to the forest with the help of his wife. So, After that, when they reached the forest, the tiger was unwilling to come out. Like that, they dragged the tiger out of the car. On the following day, the same old tiger wandered into the Maharaja's presence and stood as if in humble supplication. Master, what do I command of me? It was with the bundles boundless joy that the Maharaja took careful aim at the beast. The tiger fell in crumpled heap. So next day, while the Maharaja was in the forest, the tiger was let out, and the tiger was wandering just in front of the Maharaja because it was brought from a zoo. It was not scared of human beings, as if the tiger was coming in front of the king just for waiting for some command or order. Then Maharaja pointed his gun to the beast and fired. The tiger fell down. I have killed the 100 tiger. My bow has been fulfilled. The Maharaja was overcome with elation. Elation means happiness. Ordering the tiger to be brought to the capital and in grand procession, the Maharaja hastened away in his car. And after fulfilling his last desire, the Maharaja ordered that the tiger should be brought to the town in a grand procession. In a grand procession, and Maharaja hurriedly he in a grand procession, the Maharaja hastened away in his car. The Maharaja hurriedly boarded the car and came out. After Maharaja left, the hunters went to the closer look at the tiger. The tiger looked back at them, rolling its eyes in bafflement, means confusion. The men realized that the tiger was not dead. The bullet had missed it. It had fainted from the shock of the bullet whizzing past. The hunters wondered what they should do. They decided that the Maharaja must not come to know that he had missed the target. If he knew, they would lose their job. One of the hunters took aim from a distance of 1 foot and shot the tiger. This time he killed it without missing his mark. And ultimately, the the hunters found that the tiger was not killed. Simply, the king missed his target. The king missed his target. There is a question in the sense the tiger, that means the Maharaja had killed so many tigers, he never missed any target. But in the last one, he missed the target. Why? Most probably, it may be that the Maharaja was in a great suspension. Therefore, somehow he missed the shot. And ultimately, the hunters they killed the tiger and brought to the town. Then, as commanded by the king, the dead tiger was taken in procession through the town and buried. A tomb was erected over it. Means commonly we find that when a person dies, or especially some important person, a tomb is erected on the grave. But since it was the final tiger of Maharaja's target, and he wanted it to be memorable, therefore a tomb was erected on the buried place. A few days later, the Maharaja's son's third birthday was celebrated. Until then, the Maharaja had given his entire mind over the tiger hunting. He had had no time to spare for the crown prince, but now the king turned his attention to the child. He wished to give him some special gift on his birthday. He went to the shopping center in the Pratibandhapuram and searched every shop but couldn't find anything suitable. Finally, he spotted a wooden tiger in the toy shop and decided it to be the perfect gift. The fact is that the Maharaja was so much engrossed with the killing of tiger, even he couldn't pay his attention to the state affairs and even to his son. And this time, the third birthday of his son was to be celebrated. And Maharaja was looking for a suitable and beautiful gift for his son. And after surveying many shops, he found one wooden tiger in a toy shop. And he thought that that would be the perfect gift for his son because he himself was the tiger king. Therefore, he wanted to give a tiger as a gift to his son. The wooden tiger cost only 2 annas and a quarter. But the shopkeeper knew that if he quoted such a low price to the Maharaja, punished. He would be punished under the rules of the emergency. So he said, "Your Majesty, this is an extremely rare example of craftsmanship. A bargain at 300 rupees." So the wooden tiger was very cheap. It was only 2 annas and a quarter. Means in our language we can say that showa doana. Showa doana, you know, that is 16 annas make a rupee, and 6 paisa makes 1 anna. This is the old unit of currency. So the shopkeeper was scared because the fact is that if he demanded Shua Doana, then certainly the Maharaja would be angry and he could be punished. Therefore, he raised the price and told that the tiger is a kind of rare craftsmanship. Therefore, its price is 300 rupees. The Maharaja became very happy and brought that wooden tiger to his palace. And what happened? The wooden tiger, it had been carved by an unskilled carpenter. Its surface was rough. Tiny silvers of wood stood up like a quills over it. Means the finishing of the wooden tiger was not good. Some spikes or some that means the surface was uneven and rough and spiky. So one of those silvers pierced the Maharaja's right hand. He pulled it out with his hand and continued to play with the prince. And commonly, this type of incidents take place very often. We may get hurt a little, but nobody pays attention to that. The Maharaja got a little injury in his right hand due to the due to the tiny silvers of wood. The next day, infection flared in the Maharaja's right hand. In 4 days, it developed into a separating sore which spread all over the arm. And next day, the Maharaja developed a kind of infection in his injury, and separating sore means a kind of sore where you can see that pus is there, infection is there. 3 famous surgeons were brought in from from Madras. After holding the consultation, they decided to operate. The operation took place. The 3 surgeons who performed it came out of the theatre and announced the operation was successful, the Maharaja is dead. In this manner, the 100 tiger took its final revenge upon the tiger. upon the Tiger King. So ultimately, the prophecy made by the chief astrologer, it came true. Whether the Maharaja was killed by the silver spike of the tiger or by the surgeons themselves. So apparently, it seems that the surgeons who came from Madras, three surgeons came, and the line you can see here, the operation was successful, the Maharaja is dead. So, if the operation was successful, then how could the king die? It is just a kind of paradoxical comment that Maharaja was successful. It is a kind of irony, rather, you can say. And in that manner, there came to an end of that Tiger King, and the chief astrologer's prophecy came true. Here, the questions and answers we will discuss in the next period. Let us conclude here. Thank you. Have a nice day.